The United Galactic Pact has fallen. The Sikavar Empire has enslaved all of them, and they only have one ship left. The ship's crew can only watch as primitive races get enslaved. They watch as those that they wanted to protect suffer. They have had enough, and so they tried to fight. They failed every time, yet survived. However, they grew tired. They were shunned for their efforts, pitted and insulted. Morale began to drain until there was no will to fight, and they were close to giving up. Captain Krushka, a distress signal from a species called humanity. The captain felt heavy. For the first time he will do the thing he feared the most and would cause him the most pain. Ignore it. The words put 1,000 needles in all his 4 hearts. It was a hard order, but they'd been fighting for ages, and they always failed. What difference does it make? A week passed, and this time it was not a distress signal, it was a message. The captain was still reluctant. They were persistent, but old wounds are hard to ignore. It was always pointless. Ignore it. A month had passed. They were probably enslaved by now. Overall, it was still all pointless. What difference could they have made? A year has passed, and the crew was still idle, performing military exercises here and there for a fight they'll likely lose. Not that they'll ever see a fight again. It was obvious to the crew the captain had given up. They didn't object to this, as they were tired as well. However, something happened. No, it shouldn't have been possible. The Sikavars were experts at enslavement, and revolt suppression was their forte. The humans managed to send a message. This time it contained all the records of humanity, along with a rather simple message. Thank you for the hope you gave us. May we live in your hearts forever, as you live in ours. Thank you? What did we ever do? We ignored them at their time of need. Why thank us? Open the first message they sent. Hello there. I'm a human. My name is Timothy, but you can call me Timmy. Mum and Dad told me to hide, but I didn't. They said you could help us, and this is the only message they can send for now. I heard screams upstairs. I'm scared. Please come help. Captain Crucia's heart sank. No. It was shattered. To ignore this message was beyond cruel, and to receive thanks from that race. Never again would he do such a mistake. Never again would he falter. Never again would he grow tired of something worth fighting for. Brothers, a race has thanked us even though we didn't do anything to help them. The crew was confused and taken aback. No one had thanked them before. Hearing those words rekindled an old flame. One last time. That's all I ask. Follow me to fight for the only race to ever thank us. One last time. You should have seen it. The screams of my comrades would have shaken an entire planet. And when I had sent the message, the humans sent their screams grew louder. Morale came back as fast as a speeding bullet, and that bullet was going to hit a target. The captain didn't send the crew Timmy's message. He made a promise to himself. He would need to live to tell this to the crew, but first he had to find this child. Set course for Earth. Old engines came back to life with a renewed vigor. They had felt like this for a long time. Regard for life was thrown to the windows, as they remembered why they kept on fighting. A flash, and a few days later, FTL disruptors halted them. They are here, and the fighting is already at its end. Not in the favor of the humans. We arrived at the nick of time. The lone destroyer of the Sikavar Empire was about to bomb the entire planet to oblivion. The humans sent their soldiers to space to try to take out the destroyer. They only used mining ships in fighting that destroyer. It was, of course, not enough. Send a message to those soldiers trying to board that ship, to relocate to the front of the ship and then fire everything we have. Everything. Our message was relayed, and we're met with defiance and confusion. Yeah, no, we aren't falling for that. Listen here, you. Your people have held on to hope for so long. Why change that now? Grumbles from the human forces were heard. No time to argue, Marines. Follow me. You lot better be telling the truth. Marines? Perhaps I'll do some research on them later. Captain, weapons are hot and ready. Humans have moved to a safer position. Fire! Old batteries roared like capital guns. Torpedoes shot with extreme efficiency. These old dogs never ceased to amaze him. The crew was still sharp. Their ship might be outdated, but these were still guns, and they can still do some damage. The destroyer was hit several times, doing considerable damage. His focus now shifted on the new threat. We're out of ammo, sir. That promise he had made may haunt him in the afterlife, but he had to do it. Full speed ahead. Get our soldiers to the dropships. Have them help these Marines and send half to the planet. Focus everything on our front shields. The enemy destroyer continued firing everything they had against us, and when they had realized what we were trying to do, they slowly backed away. The Marines and my soldiers were busy sabotaging the enemy ship, and to great effect. As we were about to clash shield to shield, the enemy's shield was cut. Turns out humans had been planning this, and because of that, we were able to ram the ship. Until our shields went offline too. Sir, we can't stop. Well, our dropships were sent out too. I guess this is it. One of our techies hacked for our ship's comms, relaying a message from the human Marines. Come on, you sons of bitches, beat them up! A message from the surface of Earth. All the cheers of nations of different languages united in a single emotion. Joy. Add more speed. Brace for yourselves. The old ship finally won. It tore through that destroyer, although damaging itself. It somehow survived. It was now crashing towards the surface of Earth. Thankfully, the crash landed on an uninhabited zone. Rescue teams were sent to find survivors. Captain Crucher had somehow lived, and he was staring at a human in the flesh. They looked weak. The world had a much lighter gravity than theirs, but their eyes were like a window to their soul, and it was filled with life. Hello there. My name is Timothy. I'm glad you came. The legends were true. You guys are actually real. What I'm really trying to say is, thank you.